I've never tried the recording little sections at a time in the same chat, so I'm hoping this works the way that I think it's going to. All right, so the very first thing I want us to do is to make sure that everybody is getting credit for everything that they're coming in and doing today. So the sign in for credit is going up in the chat right now. If you just put in that little, if you click on that link, it will give you, or give me an opportunity to put all the time that you're spending with me today in Eduphoria so that you get that credit. And it tells me what classes you were here for. Because believe it or not, having to go back and watch all of the video trainings I've done recently and trying to pinpoint how many people were in them and who they were so that I get them credit is a lot more painstaking than I thought it was going to be. So if you would do that for me, then I make sure that you get what you need as well. So we are in the 9:45 session. We are going to be looking at home learning in Seesaw. In the last session, we already covered where to go to get all of your materials. So I'm not going to talk about that in this one. You can go and watch that recording. And I'll put that in the chat as well if you want access, but it will go out to all of your emails by doing that sign up today. And then this one, we're actually just going to look at some of the different products, how to use those in Seesaw, creating activities so that you really get that interactive kind of piece, and some tips and tricks for how to use some of the features in Seesaw to really help kids because when they're getting, what parents are kind of having problems with is the little ones, and they're the ones using Seesaw right now, are not independent learners yet. They're certainly not independent digital online learning learners. And so it takes just a little bit extra for parents to be successful. So giving them, recorded instructions so that parents don't have to read the instructions to the kids, recording video instructions for the kids to be doing how to model different things like that really do help parents a tremendous amount. And they don't have to be great. They're not looking for Shakespeare. They're looking for just someone who loves their kid to give them the information they need, because they don't know all of the math we know and all of the reading we know, and all the little things that create safety and structure for our littles specifically, which we don't even think about because you're just so good at what you do. And and I've seen you guys in your classroom, so I know you're good at what you do. But it's little things that become part of our classroom culture over time. The way we say things, how we hold things, all of that is not inherent for parents to know. And so the more video and things like that you can put in there, and more interactive pieces kids can do independently, and recording those directions and things are going to be really, really important going forward. So let's get into Seesaw. And remember, you can do this on your iPad. You can also do it through your class link. I'm just doing it through the web right now. So mainly you're going to be working out of either your activities tab, where you are putting your activities and things together, browsing activities that have already been created, things like that. Because a lot of these are already interactive, and so that kind of helps just a little bit. And so, you might be able to find quick books to come back to, things like that tie into math, that ties into already. It may not be the exact activity, but it's not going to be, it doesn't have to be the same exact activity, as long as you're teaching the teaks and what's been provided in the curriculum for home learning. As long as you're on the same track with curriculum, they're going to be pretty happy with whatever you decide to start putting out there, because you know your kids and you know where they're approaching these activities and things like that. You have the community library and you have your own library of things that you've created. So I'm going to show you a couple that I've created now. This one I stole. This one I stole. This one is a PDF from our curriculum. So let's look at that one real quick. What I ended up doing is making a picture of this, so that it was a little bit easier. And it is attached as a template, so each student gets their own. So I do want you to see, come in here and edit. So I can rename this, I can add my instructions in here. This is where that voice instruction happens. When I click on it, I get the little record option. I click record, and it's going to tell me how long my recording is. Keep it short and simple, but mainly I'm telling them exactly what I want them to do, or I'm telling them about the page itself and reading the directions here. If I've already got it on the page, I'm just going to read the same directions that are on that page. Okay. You can also add multimedia instructions or an example of the work you're expecting from them, and that might help parents too. Again, you can upload anything from Google. So this is going to be anything from Google. So if you've already gone to curriculum and you've made your curriculum folder, you're going to upload, and see how I've got select from Google Drive as an option right here. I can click select from Google Drive, and it's going to connect to all of my information. So at this point, I have my home learning folder, and I can say that I want to do a copy of my coin activity today. And we're going to select it, and I'm going to attach it in there. And now we've got some of our play. Now this was not a great one because you can see that my stuff doesn't move. Right? And so that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk about is this is an actual Google with manipulatives, which is great. It would be a great opportunity, but in Seesaw, it basically converts everything to a picture. So you would want to create your own manipulatives for kids to be able to do different things, not use manipulatives that are already in them. So that's kind of one of the things that we're going to talk about creating a little bit. Okay. So you can come in, put photos, drawings, videos, links to places you want them to go. You want them to go listen to a story online. You're putting a YouTube video in, some of those different things, great poetry, links from the enrichment area that you want them to go to. So any of these things can be added in. And you can add them in here, or you can add them as a template. It all depends on what and how you want students and parents to interact with it. If it's a lesson, it's going to go up in this top area. If it's a student work that you are assigning, it's going to go in the template. And again, the template is what is going to let students interact with something on the page, okay? So when I keep going, I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now I have that play instructions, which I didn't have before. And when I assign it to students, oops, here we go. Then, yeah, I'm not going to send it to all the people. I'm sure they would not want my crazy example here. Then when I go back to my class, I now have it in my class with my instructions on there, and students can add their responses and play with it, okay? And when they see it, they're going to be able to use all those tools to come in and highlight and play around with and put text in here as they need to. Now, that's just a plain picture with text. That's pretty simple. I do want to show you, so I'll go to my home learning folder here and do a new one. So let's see. I guess I got a new thing. All right, so this one right here, we're going to fill out different, they're going to color in boxes to create a shape. So it's just number recognition and off of a hundreds chart. So if I wanted to, then I can come in and take a picture. And the best tool for that is actually going to be your snipping tool. Mine's down here in my toolbar, but if you go to your Windows button and go to snipping tool, you'll see that it comes up. And then if I right click, I can pin that to my start. I can also take the app and pull it down like I did here, okay? And so snipping tool is awesome because I can take a picture of whatever is on my screen. And now I've got a picture, and I can save that as coloring matching numbers, right? And when I save that, I'm saving that to my computer. Again, if I want to create that activity, then I can go to Add, or I can go to Browse Activity and create it in my library. So if I'm creating that new activity with the picture, so this time I'm going to color by matching numbers. So then I can type in my instructions. I want you to fill in using the numbers that are on the page. I'm going to put my voice in there, and then I add that template. And again, I'm just going to put in an upload, this time from computer, because that's where I saved it. And there is my item. Click OK. So then I can do a couple different things. They can come in color using their pen tool and color in, okay? So that's one option. They can use highlighter so they can still see the numbers, again using red because that's what those in the instructions, okay? They can use those numbers. But if I wanted to do manipulatives, I can come over and give them shapes. And so say this time I want to fill in the whole thing. I'm going to use this one right here. And I want them to be more red, okay? And then I can make it the size that I want it to be. And then I can just come in and duplicate over and over again to get a whole bunch of them. So this becomes my manipulative for students to then be able to use it as an interactive. So they can use their fingers to drag it over to find what they're looking for. And that makes it a little bit, so the coloring is fine for this one as well, but if you were looking for using coins as manipulatives, you were looking at using little bears for manipulatives, there's all kinds of different ways that you can use those shapes to make that happen. You can also take a picture of things as well. You can do voice on this one as well, and you can give them more directions or feedback on that. And you can put more text in here. So say, instead of saying use red, I wanted to tell them something else. I can come in and say, drag the colored squares to match the numbers on the hundreds chart. Good if I can type, just so you guys are that. All right. So then I may want to move that or change how that is written at the top so they can see that. And then I might even want to come over here and change different pieces about it. So that's all where that is, okay? And then I can delete them if I need to as well. If they need, I think you can put a text box over these two. And so then that could be my numbers on top of my boxes. Or I can just use the text boxes to match number to number, okay? Or maybe it's a picture of items. Obviously for this one, that might be a little bit difficult. But just so you can kind of see different ways of playing around with the manipulatives and things like that. And once you're ready, you just keep moving on with the green button and your assignment's ready for kids. You save and you choose your class and assign. And again, if you don't want it to go to everyone in your class, you can edit which students and select them by going into that little blue hyperlink for edit students and select the students in the list that you want it to go to. So if you want to give an accommodation, everybody's getting a color in the number, but some of them might not have the fine motor skills. So we're going to be working on just dragging to select the number. Maybe, you can kind of think about different things like that to kind of help with that. The other option is to schedule. If you want to schedule things ahead, I think that was in the chat that had come up. So this is where that schedule comes in, and that's where you find it. So when will it be assigned to students? You can go immediately or on a specific date and time. So if you wanted that for Sunday, you know that they're going to want something Sunday morning. So then there is Sunday at 9. And then I can say, yay, go ahead and assign. And that means they're not going to see it until scheduled for April 5th at 9, okay? So that's kind of how you can work on that piece right there. Yes. So if I go back in and edit, the question that came up, if you didn't see it, is can I add more than one piece in here? So let's try it. We'll put everything. So it looks like if it's the same type. All right, so I can add 2 more photos. So it didn't put my video in. So I don't know if that helps or not, or answers the question or not, but it looks like I can put the different pictures in without being a problem. All of those are pictures. So it let me put the same 10 of the same type of item. And then you can see down here that they've got all of the pages. So that's how you navigate the pages to make them interactive for an activity like that. Let's see. Let's go. I'm not sure how many videos I've got, so let me see. I've got this video. While it's uploading, I'm going to check the chat real quick. I'm trying that one. Doesn't look like picture and video together. Kathy, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to depend on who's running it. I think this week, it being new for you, they probably sent it to you, but they may continue doing that as well. But it's all available in HEB curriculum. And as soon as they're ready, they're posting it. So they've got everything available already to you for next week. So if you're just wanting to get in there, if you go in like we were talking about earlier, because you were in the earlier session, that was all already in there. So this isn't doing what I want it to do. Let me see if I can go back and try again. So that doesn't answer your question necessarily, but I'm not sure exactly what they're going to plan on doing or not. I wonder if because it's a video. But see, that does make me take a video. Let's see if it'll let me link to my video instead. Just means I have to find a video real quick. All right, here's my video. And we'll try this with the pictures. Okay, it's already a video. I don't need to do that. So then there's my link. So it looks like it's only going to let me do the one link. Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah, it looks like you can't do it together, but you could do a video and then you can put your activity in on a separate page, maybe. So let me see that one that we were working on. Oh, that was the one we were working on. Okay. I just didn't see it. So say I do want that video in it. All right. So they still have the template for what they're working on and the video link. So you can have the template in there as an option. Does that make sense? I can't see y'all's faces, so I'm not sure if I answered that or not. that's how I made this one right here. So, okay, so I'll pull my drive over so you can see how I did that. So I have this little video right here, and it's just belt going dun 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 at the end of the world. Okay, so it's not a great video. And so I can get that shareable link right there. I want to turn it on so that this is green. Right now I have anybody at HEB can view. If I want that to be open, I can come in and do the little drop down and more. And I can say that that's public or anyone with the link. And again, they can view, no sign in required, and save. I can copy my link. And then that's what you're going to put in here. So again, that was in the link right here. So if I get rid of that, it's add multimedia instructions or example, and I put it as a link. I'm guessing I can also put it here as well, but I'd have to select it from Drive instead. Let's see if I can find. Video. There's my video. So it'll do that as well. So if it's in Google Drive already, it works that way. You can do a link, or you can go straight from Drive. So either one of those work. Clear as mud. All right, just making sure, covering everything. Yes. I'm not sure if someone was meaning to talk or if they weren't. Okay. All right, so PDFs. So I know that that's one of the things that our curriculum commonly has in it. So we're going to go back here and go to a new activity. Actually, you know what? I have PDFs already in some of mine. Hold on. Okay, so these right here are images, which means a student can interact immediately into it, right? Same thing here. They can immediately, because I've done a picture. But if I scroll down, let's see, maybe I don't have it in this one. There it is. So this one has a PDF, right? So then when they click on this, this is what they get. So this would be more of a printable. This is not going to be a great interactable thing, but you can comment and put text on it. It's just a little bit more difficult for kids to play around with it as much. So that's why I'm suggesting using the picture instead, because then the kids are easily, we want to make it as easy for our families to get information back to as possible. So that's why I'm saying the pictures are probably more. Yes, so that's a great question. So if I wanted a PDF instead, so let's see if I can find just something that is specifically a PDF. It's sort of better than others. All right, so here's my home map key, right? Or classifying matter, that one's a good one. So you see how this opens up almost like a picture anyway in Google. So I can take that snipping tool, hit new, and I can take a picture of the activity. And then I can save that and put that into my Seesaw. So again, just save it. So this one is classify. I think I've made a picture of it before, so we'll save that as it is. Okay, so then there's classify, and then again, when I come into Seesaw and I want to add it, I can assign my activity, create a new one. This one is classifying. Here's my template. This one is on my computer. Classifying. And go. So then kids would be able to write on it down below, but still have all of that. And again, in and put voice right here as well. And it says, look at this picture. Think about the screws in this picture. Can you determine anything about their properties from the photograph? So again, you would do the whole thing. Once you're done, green button, and then they see it as a video. So if you're just wanting to voice over the activity, that's where that can happen as well. And if you're wanting to add pages, you just add pages just like that. And you can come in and upload your photos from there as well. So if you've taken a whole bunch of photos that you want as backgrounds that you want kids to come in and answer questions for, then you've got that option as well. So that's down this side, add a page, and go to your photo and upload. Let's see if there's any other questions. Let's see. Any other questions on that? Any other tools that you want to see? I will also say that Seesaw has an amazing help center. If you've not actually seen it, I'm going to pull it over here. So anything on here, so setting up your class specifically towards remote learning, adding co-teachers, they've got them all put in here, and they have them by, they have a whole cute little learning in your pajamas area as well. You can come into basics and they'll look at all of the different articles that they have. So they've got quite a bit of information. They've got a beyond the basics. So when you're ready to start looking at that, how to work with families, that remote learning area, they've got teacher learning resources for that. And then the other thing too, is that's what their support pages look like. The other thing too is that if you search for language, it will also have a lot of this in multiple languages for your parents as well. So if you're trying to get help for parents in multiple languages, if you just type in Seesaw in different languages, there's a translation in that help area. And I find it's easier just to go here, but it looks at how to make sure that parents have and families have the language in that they speak in their home. Even if you put everything in English, it will do a translation for them. And so that's a C translation option that's below there, so they can choose the language they want to see it in. And this is all the different languages that support. So for our kiddos and parents who don't speak English, this is a great way of still getting them instruction that meets their needs in their home as well, and help them kind of get there. There is also translated resources and family invites if you go to the very bottom of the screen and click the Here button. And so you can see the translation in those as well. And then you can also customize the letters that you send to your families with the invite links, and you share that link. It will let you translate those as well, and all of that is behind or underneath that initial set language letters that are in the front. And then down here, you've got French, Spanish, and Dutch for teacher and student resources as well. So they've begun kind of getting some of those resources available to you in different languages, which is awesome, to support our learners and families. So that was kind of the, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a quick question, and I know right now music, art, and PE are not on Seesaw, and we have no way to connect with our students. Can we make a lesson on Seesaw and send it to specific teachers so that they can post it, like a simple something? And I know that's down the road because we don't want to overwhelm parents.
Mm-hmm. Let me get back to create a new thing. Oops. Let's start over. Delete. Oh, no, I'm in a new activity, right? All right, so when I'm going through, oh, put that in there. Doesn't really matter what's in there for right now. So when I click through save and keep saving, I can add to collections and I can share the activity. I know it's kind of weird how it is on the bottom of my screen here. And I can email to teachers right here. Select my teachers. And so if it recognizes it as an HEB teacher who's on here, you're probably going to be able to find teachers that you're working with here.
Okay, that's brilliant. So then we will eventually be able to share some simple activities
Mhm.
for our little kids,
Mhm.
and that's how we do it instead of us trying to connect with every kid on Seesaw. All right,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's even great for regular teachers sharing with their team. So yeah, it'll be great for you guys too. Great question. All right. I covered all of the little pieces. Again, I'm trying to kind of chunk and chew as we go along. Is there anything else that you want to see in Seesaw? It doesn't have to be on the agenda before we take a break and go on to Google Classroom. All right. Awesome. Did you guys learn something new at least?
Yes, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yay. All right. Well, then I'm going to stop the recording. Doesn't mean that you guys have to leave